Walk me through this, dude. I'm glad you're a dude still. God, that makes me feel so much better. Lee danced around this topic a little bit today, but talking about the divide in the VTuber space. Like I said, Lee, this is something that I'm not, I'm learning about this space as we go, but it definitely seems like there's, your based VTubers, and then there's like your crazy wackos, and we see this in the gaming space. We see this in the creator space. It just kind of seems like it's all over the place. I'm not like, I've seen this person pop up because of the whole Kirsha stuff a couple weeks ago. But this person here, I don't even know how to say this person's name. Yara, I guess. This is honestly, I don't want to be a VTuber anymore, but I feel like I have to for safety reasons. I love this space, but it's clear to me that it's not as inclusive and supportive as it seems. I've made awesome friends, but this community is rotten and people can't fix it. It's sad. Now, this was posted by Sean over here. It says, because people say children can't consent to life-altering medications. Are you mental? Over here. And this was actually tweeted. I'm not familiar if you know who this person is. Sarah over here says, Boo effing who tried to get a sponsor to drop a bigger streamer by joining a harassment campaign against them, and has a history of saying
muted.
What the hell is going on today? Anyways,
I don't know, man. Are you like clicking something on?
No, I'm not clicking anything. But go ahead and read this blab real fast.
Boo fucking who tried to get a sponsor to drop a bigger streamer by joining a harassment campaign against them, and has a history of saying creepy shit about grooming minors. Tried to get attention by bitching at Asmongold, and people noticed every stupid shit he said. Now they are hating on him. The community isn't rotten. He is the rotten one. Also, get the fuck out of with I don't feel safe. People telling you they want you to off yourself is standard on the internet. Report anyone making a credible death threat to local authorities and move on.
So it's obvious that there's a divide in the VTubing space. By the way, Azara, looks like they're in the chat. So hello, thank you very much for hanging out. Can you speak to kind of the divide of just the VTubing audience? And is there, we talk about how our audience, there's like this 10% here, there's 10% here, we cater to this 80% here. Is it like that in the VTubing space as well? Or like, what have you noticed? And has there been a shift over the last few years of this?
So, I mean, I do agree that I think that the VTubing community is a little bit more kind of left like woke leaning than I guess your typical demographic. But the thing is a lot of the time these people they kind of want to, I'm trying to think how to say it, they want to make it so you can't talk about certain things because they actually can't discuss it. Like if you actually discuss it at all, like all of the things that they believe, their arguments basically they're not used to having to fight for what they believe in. They're used to just basically being given the fact, well, not the fact, but they're used to being given the benefit of the doubt that their argument is true. And because of that, they're not really mentally prepared to actually argue with it. So their best option really is to just shut it down immediately. And that's why you have a lot of like these people kind of just going after people and kind of ganging up on them like as fast as possible so that they can't be a part of that community. That way those discussions aren't allowed to happen. Sorry, I'm really bad at explaining myself.
No, that makes total sense. The idea that, they came in and then they want to gatekeep as soon as they get in and snuff out, what they deem as bad actors.
Yeah.
And we see this in real life where oftentimes, and maybe this is what's happening in the VTubing space, where as soon as they're challenged, like they can't respond and they just throw out istphobe, whatever, because their arguments hold no weight, right? And then they call you non-tolerant. You're not tolerant, or whatever they want to say about you, or call you a Nazi or whatever like that. Is this something that you've run into?
Yeah, it happens. It happens all the time. And the thing is like one thing I try to do, like on my streams, I try to actually engage with people that are talking in bad faith.
Mhm.
Not, and the thing is like a lot of people are like, why are you even talking to that person? Like, why? Like, they're clearly a bad faith actor. I'm not engaging with a bad faith actor for that person. It's for all of the people in the middle, like you said, the middle 80%. That's who you're trying to convince. It's not the 10% on either side, right?
Yeah, I think there's definitely something to that. And we've had that discussion about like, people say, why do you have this person on the show? Or why would you have this person on the show? And my
Mm.
response is like, you want to have them on because number one, the audience will decide, right? Number
Mm.
two, you want them to throw out their thought process, and ultimately they're going to dig their own grave,
Yes.
and you have to allow them to the opportunity to do that. Sometimes the best way to have a discussion is just to let people talk, and you let
Mhm.
them see that their arguments have no weight. There's no validity to them at all, and that's when they resort to either walking away or calling you some sort of bad language or whatever it is. Um, piggybacking on what like Cody was saying, just about, like I said, looking at it from the outside in the VTubing space, and I could be totally off here. So if I am,
Mm.
please let me know. But in the VTubing space, you have an avatar, right?
Yes.
And that avatar is, it was come up with by some sort of, your imagination, right? Um, have you seen in the VTubing space? You said it's generally left leaning, right?
Mm.
Um, have you seen that in the VTubing space, VTubers be, I don't know, more antisocial, I would say, maybe more, maybe have a higher rate of, I don't know, autism or something like that, that you'd find like in the general YouTubing space?
Well, so I have thoughts on this. So
Yeah,
I think in the VTubing space specifically, what makes it quite interesting is I feel like so anime and games in general, at least before, I don't know how much it is now. They're nerd hobbies, right? They're for
sure,
people that are like kind of not really, I guess you would say, like the cool people in like in like school, right? So you have a case really where, especially with VTubing, where you have these people who are kind of the outcasts, the nerds, and now they're given another opportunity, like a chance to be the cool kids, right?
sure, yeah,
And you know, things stay the same, right? So like now they're the bullies, right? And it's kind of like what you see happening with VTubing. I feel like, because it's just, and a lot of people refer to VTubing as high school 2.0, right? And it really does feel like that a lot of the time.
it's funny you mentioned that because I mean, anybody who's ever been to like a gaming convention or an anime con, the audience, right? We've
Hmm.
all been there. Like, I don't think anybody has ever been considered, like most people in the gaming space has never been considered the cool kid, like
Hmm.
ever, right?
Yeah.
So, uh, I think it speaks to a little, especially if you develop any sort of audience. It speaks to you as a person how you react to having some sort of, for lack of a better term, influence. You know,
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
uh, and when you become the cool kid, you see where kids want to get the revenge that they never had, on the based off of
Hmm.
the whatever. So that's interesting to hear you say that, because I think there's definitely some correlations between the two. I see some people talking about how how the meme is, the meme, and I mentioned like kind of the autism side of things. Meme and or the autism and VTubering is like kind of go hand in hand, I guess.
Hmm.
That's kind of the meme when it comes to this stuff. So it's funny because this is like a very similar topic to what Cody was talking about that kind of got him canceled from the event,
Hmm.
but it's one of those things where it's like it's an unspoken truth,
Yes.
and nobody wants to mention it. And as soon as you mention it, people are like, how dare you say that? And it's like, because I see it right there in front of me and it's obvious, you know, and it's not that there's anything wrong with it. I'm just
Mhm.
speaking to it, you know. So
I mean, the nerds are the outcasts for reasons, right? Like, whatever that reason is, and I mean, imagine that it does have like what you said, but like autism or other. I don't know what the word for it is. It's just other mental differences, I suppose. Of course, you're gonna have more of that in like a place that has like a lot of societal outcasts, right?
sure.
Hmm.
Well, and like I said, there's nothing as in like some of the most high functioning people on earth have autism. You know, like
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that, you know, at all.
Hmm.
But people immediately get on the defensive and they, oh, you can't talk like that. It's like, what do you, dude? It's not like we're not criticizing anything, you know. We're just talking about generalities that we see. But it's interesting to see, like as we speak to more and more people on the show from communities that were not, you know, that were, I use the word ignorant because I think ignorant just means you lack knowledge in this,
Hmm.
like knowledge, like we're ignorant towards, you know. And as we learn more and more about the VTubing community, it seems like while as different as it may be, it's all the same, right? You see it in gaming, see it in Star Wars, you see it in VTubing, see it in pick a community, and you see these people who were once, you know, as you said, once the nerds, once outcast, they get a little bit of power, and then it's like, yeah, you know, and
It's interesting because it all kind of ties in, right? Like you have people like the whole thing with like everybody has to be a winner, everyone has to be perfect, right? And then it's like if somebody has something that's even like slightly different, it's like they should that's like the irony, right? It's like they try to be like accepting of things, but then they shun the idea of things that aren't like normal in a way, right? Like if you were to if you were to say like, oh, the people, there's a lot of autistic people in the community. It's like them getting upset at us. Like, what are you trying to say? Are you trying
right.
to? Are you upset that people are that they're saying that there are a lot of autistic people? It's like, so what's the problem with autistic people? Like, it's weird. It's like this weird like weird accepting ones, but actually we hate that. It's so weird.
It's almost like, you know, if you get it down from like a psychological standpoint, you know, the idea
Mm,
that if you say it comes down to the idea of you know, there's self-doubt, right? So when you say there's a lot of autism people, they immediately get defensive, right? But you mentioned this earlier, the idea when talking about video game development, right?
yeah.
The worst kind of narcissist is a narcissist who has tremendous self-doubt in themselves, right? Where it's all
Yes. Mhm.
self-facing, and it's, and I think that's also kind of what social media has done, is it's given all these people who are who don't have a whole lot of self-confidence this shield to put up, and then they want to, you know, for lack of a better word, you know, virtue signal for their cause
Mhm.
and feel like they're the hero, you know, gives
Mhm.
everybody an excuse. So and I think that's the situation right here. Like going back to this original tweet, like
Yeah.
who is this person? Is this a YouTuber that or a VTuber that a lot of people know?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know anyone in the
Okay, okay, cool.
like I
Distance.
know like Kirsha. I saw Solace in the chat. I know some people, but I mostly like I said earlier, I mostly keep to myself, right? I know a lot of the old guard, like the older people that have like been
Mhm.
around for a while, but there's VTuber debuts every day.
Right, right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, I love the idea of like, dude, I'm just gonna stick to myself and do my thing. Love it. That's great. And
Yeah.
you've been great. You've been super successful over on Twitch, which is great, right?
Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. But how long you been streaming?
Oh dear. Do you remember Own 3D?
Own 3D? I
So
believe
like
so, yeah.
before Justin, there was
Oh,
before Twitch, there was
yeah.
a thing called Own 3D, which is like this old streaming platform. I used to
Mhm.
stream on there, and then and then I went on Twitch. It's like, man, what 20 not 20 yeah 2011 2011 something like that, around
Okay.
that. Yeah,
Okay. So you're like an old school Justin. Like that's great.
YouTube
It,
videos and stuff like that back in the
dude,
day.
let's
We
go.
used to have like avatars, like little PNGs that
Hmm.
you just put up, and then like have little different like emotions for them. You just like
Mhm.
switch them.
Man, do you know who the first person I remember seeing that do? And maybe you probably have no idea who this person is, but the first person I remember seeing doing just that of the PNGs, the transparent PNGs
Mm.
with different emotions, was a guy named Still Gaming.
Still,
Did you ever seen Still Gaming before?
let me look.
Oh no. Oh no. This is the first time I've looked at Still Gaming in forever, and Still Gaming is no longer a boy. Oh no. Still Gaming. Still Gaming has become a girl. Oh no.
Wait, are they just I mean, maybe they're like just VTubing. There's a lot of VTubers that do that. They just have a girl avatar, right?
No.
I gotta say, it's pretty creepy when like a grown ass man makes a girly like VTuber, and like it looks all girly, and then there's this giant like husky voice behind it. It's like, but why? Why?
It's for the same reason that people want to play like Lara Croft, right? Like guys want to play like as Lara Croft, or you even have like the girl in Stellar Blade, right? It's just, I think it's the same thing basically.
You think so? I don't know. I feel
think
like
so,
there's some
yeah.
weird fetish in there somewhere.
There might be, I don't know.
Oh no. Okay, hold on. Just a quick. This is such a callback for me, and nobody's gonna get this at all. But this was Lee from Still Gaming here, and this is kind of what he did as he went through. Was he did all these images here, and he'd put them in the corner, and he would later on. This is from 18 years ago here, but this is
My goodness.
classic internet, and now Lee is now co-leave and is now
So it's real.
yeah, it's a real.
I see.
Wow, man, my this is a fun conversation because I've interacted with a lot of people over the years online, and I wonder how many of them have decided to become another sex.
There's it's strange because there's a lot of pressure towards that, I feel like. Because
Yes.
when you create a oh man, I could go so deep on this.
Go.
But I
Go
feel,
deep. Go
I feel
ahead.
like it's so when you create a situation, right, where you create this hierarchy of people online, right, where you have like the white male at the very bottom of the totem pole, and as you go up, right, if you are a part of that, and that you're a white male, or a white woman, for example, right,
Mm-hmm.
society, like I saw this. Oh man, I saw this because of Tumblr. Like I remember, like Tumblr is where this all started, but they would say things like, "You don't get to talk because you're not as oppressed as I am."
Right.
And I imagine like these people are in this situation where they just keep getting told that, and what's the way out of it? The way out of it is to become more oppressed than the other person. So, like, I wonder how many people, and I know this isn't everybody. Like, obviously, there's people who are just trans or there's people that are just like that, right?
Mhm.
But I wonder how many people have adopted like that, or like the non-binary, like, or bisexual, basically, as a way to kind of escape that hierarchy.
Sure.
Because now you're at the top, right?
Yeah, I think there's definitely something to that. The idea that people joke about it all the time. The idea, well, now you're like, hey, I'm a black lesbian female now. I just want to let you know that. Congratulations, Leaflet. It's me. We laugh about it, but I guarantee there have been a ton of people who have taken the system that's in place and worked that system to their advantage. And you know what? They probably should. They probably should, because we're playing this oppressor game, this oppressed versus oppressed game that, all of a sudden it becomes this thing where, hey, all of a sudden I listen, yeah, you know what? I do like men. And you know what? Here we go. And, like, then you're a part of the club and you have acceptance and you get love bombed and, oh, look at how great and brave you are.
There's a lot of pressure, and there's not enough. It is harder to basically go against that than it is to pat the person on the back. I mean, I can give you, if you have time for a story. I had a friend back in the day. still my friend. I talk to them sometimes, but they out of nowhere they messaged me, right? And it was this guy. He messages me. He goes, "Hey, Leaflet, I'm so excited to tell you, I'm coming out as trans." And everybody hug boxed. I'm like, literally everybody was like, "Oh, like so good for you! Like, oh my god, like so happy for you." I was the only person that said, "Listen, you know, I know that you were kind of a girly guy, and that's fine. If you know you can be a girly guy, that's okay. If you find out in the end that this is what you want and this is who you are, I'll accept you and I'll be there for you. But I want you to make sure that this is absolutely 100% what you want and not because other people are telling you. You should go get therapy." And I didn't talk to them for a while after that, like maybe like 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Out of nowhere, they messaged me and they said, "Leaflet, I gotta tell you, you saved my life because I thought about what you said and I realized it wasn't for me. And I could just be a girly guy. And I didn't do anything because of that, because of what you said." Right. And like that story like really like just sticks with me of like just the amount of like peer pressure people have to like go on with it and not enough pushback from people. Because again, like if you push back, like you make yourself look like the bad guy, right? Oh,
Right.
like you're transphobic, right? Or well, look at you being transphobic, not like not supporting the person. But it's like sometimes it's harder to do the thing where you actually have concern for the other person, right? Even though it makes you look like a bad person.
Man, there's something to be said about like if you're truly a friend of somebody, you're honest with them, right? This idea of love bombing somebody because they want to be affirmed or whatever, and you just taking the second of being like, "Yo, you sure about this?" Like that's really all it took, as opposed to you just being like, "Oh, that's so great, you're so wonderful," or and like that's incredibly valuable. There you go. Oh, there you go. Check it out. Hold on. It says, I'm a guy. Thanks for the shout out. Let's go. Wait, hold on. Hold on. Khalif, are you still here, buddy? We need to get him in. Let's go. Excellent. Lee, walk me through this, dude. I'm glad you're a dude still. God, that makes me feel so much better. Lee, it's good to see you. The call out from 18 years ago. Oh, let's go. That's excellent. Let's go. All right. Sorry. That's spectacular. It makes me feel so happy now to hear that Lee is still a guy. All right. Anyway, I feel like we can go down this rabbit hole and keep going down this rabbit hole, and it'd be great. Let's go and put a pin in that for now, because I think that's a really good discussion, though. Obey YouTube. Watch this video. It's suggested for you.